So we let them off the leash, and then they just bolted off into the woods. So then we were trying to chase them for a while, figure out where they went. It just turned into a whole thing. What did we see out there?
It was really weird because we were walking, we heard some rustling, and in the rustling in the brush, and just saw this massive figure coming out of nowhere, and apparently he followed us home. And welcome to the podcast, Spooky Listle, John Tron.
It's a me. So yeah, I saw you guys out by the woods. It was I was trying to figure out why you guys are in St. Peter, because I was actually scouting out a gas leak on Jefferson Street.
Oh yeah.
And I was wondering why you guys are there, and I was actually there to fix the leak, but I just wanted to see if they weren't pranking me or not. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we didn't realize it was you. It's kind of hard to,
Well, yeah, you can't really see this. Like you can only really see my face right now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's a good joke. Camo joke.
Wait, this is green screen, I thought, right?
Close. Yeah. Our production budget isn't that high yet.
Soon, very soon.
Very soon.
We're getting there.
Anyway, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for this spooky LooneyBin podcast. Now we got some good stuff today. It's been a while since some of the OGs have been on, so we try to go back to our old roots, however you want to say that.
Indeed.
Roots.
But yeah, so let's start it off by saying some little spooky story. I have one.
Ooh, you got a spooky story?
Yeah.
Take us away.
I think that's what we're gonna do, folks. Is we're kind of gonna go around a little spooky story, and maybe it's kind of dive into a little bit of what really spooked us, and if it was just a little poof or if it was something bigger.
It's never a little poof, guys. It's never a little poof.
So, I got a story. So this is when I was younger.
Okay.
So where my grandparents' farm is like in southern part of North Dakota. Not super. I'd say 90 miles from the middle point of like if you look at the middle point of North Dakota. So it's a little bit different. It's a little terrain. The terrain is a little hillier. It's a little bit greener. It's different than just the straight plains. So at night, this is, I would say, like 6 or 7. So at night, I was super afraid of the dark. I was like, we'd be out on the farm all the time, but the windows would be open, and I would not be able to handle anything that was like coming through. Like if it was just pitch dark, I couldn't see what's outside. I didn't want to know. I just wanted the blinds closed.
Oh, so like you didn't even want to be able to see.
Yeah, and it would be amazing because I would have to go downstairs and grab something. No,
nuh-uh.
It would be turn on the light quick and run as fast as you can to the pantry, and then run as fast as you can and leave the light on because you didn't have time.
How old were you?
6, 7, 8. Probably the same way when I was 10.
I mean, I feel like I can relate to that a little bit. Just like when you're getting ready to go to sleep at night and you gotta turn the bedroom light off, and then there's that like 10 feet that you have to traverse through your room to get to your bed. And it's always spooky. You never know what's gonna be there, but you gotta plan your steps out real carefully.
Yep.
Make sure you don't step on any knives or anything like that. Just chilling out. So
True.
yeah.
It's definitely a weird thing because I'm not really afraid of much. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I'm cautious, but I'm not afraid of much, which is a complete flip to where I was. I was like, "Oh, guys, should we do this?" Like on the playground, just like even playing football. Like, should we even play football? Someone's going to put on the ground. Like it. I don't know, but now I'm a little bit different. But anyways, so
now you're wearing a ghillie suit.
Yeah, and I'm one with the dark, actually. But we were sitting outside. I had to go outside because at that time we had 2 older dogs. They're like blue heeler type of mixture, German Shepherd blue heeler. And they're outside, and one's blind, and the other one's limp. They're just old, so they're not really doing anything anyways.
Good attack dogs.
Yeah,
guard dogs.
Great dark guard dogs. But we went outside anyways because the car was out there. And in the distance, so there's evergreen trees right along the side. And during that time, we had cattle, you know, and then the grain bins were across. You can just see these glowing eyes. So at first you're like, oh, I thought it was a cat, right? Because cats kind of have that reflective, whatever. And you know me, I'm out there with just a box flashlight, just a massive one that you can just point wherever, right? So I'm out there and I see that. I caught my eyes like, oh God. Then I kind of looked at it a little bit more. It was so much bigger than a cat. So obviously there might be a deductive reasoning to it, but in my mind, what I saw was just as like a Wolverine-ish cat figure, you know, just lurking, just pound, you know, like the animal that just stops in its tracks once you get focus of it. Mm-hmm. And you know me, I was like, drop the flashlight, drop everything. I think my sister was behind me. I was like, nope, F it, you're gone too. I'm running. You know what I mean? Like I was like, every man for himself or woman. Or
it's like I don't have to run faster than the bobcat. I have to run faster than you.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
Literally. Go inside, lock the door for good measure, and then it's like, oh my God, saw something out there, and then no one moves or anything because they just think I'm full of, you know, BS. And I think at the end of it, they were like, no, it's, you know, it's a mountain lion. Like the tiny, we have mountain lions sometimes around there. It's small around, and they probably heard the cow. We're going to do something with them, prey on them. But I was like, I don't think it was a mountain lion. Because it was like, you know, mountain lion, the cat fur is like, you know, this long. It's not that long. Oh, that thing was just grizzled.
So it was like long-haired.
It was long-haired. It was just weird. It was like a darkish, you know, not a tan, but a little darker tan. And it was just sitting there, didn't move, no sound whatsoever. Maybe I just dreamt, you know, I don't know if I even dreamt it either. But
that's what always happens in these situations for me. It's like the event happens, and then even after like a week or two, you're like, did that really happen? Like, am I just like making this shit up? Yeah. Like, do I actually remember the things that I thought I saw? Or like, yeah.
That vivid dream. Like that one nightmare or something. Like I always have one that comes up all the time. You know, it's just something that's vivid. Did that actually happen or not? You know?
Right.
Or it's like that feeling when you wake up in the morning where it just is like, did this just happen? Like, or you go about your day acting like it did happen. And then you realize, like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but that's
the mind is a powerful thing.
See, speaking of dreams, every year around Halloween time, I don't know if I just imagined this one time and I'm just making it up in my head ever since. But every year I just have this stupid dream that it just looks like pretty much a skyline, like background photo, just with like purplish sky backgrounds and like the big yellow moon. And then it's just this stupid, like, ghost, like you'd see from Scooby-Doo, and it's just flying towards me. Just every year it happens.
Live action or cartoon?
It's like the hybrid, I feel. But it just kind of like...
Wait, so this happens every year. Does it happen around Halloween or just
does. At Halloween.
Dude, that might be even more scary than mine.
Yeah, like, that's something's happening in your mind.
Yeah.
Being haunted.
Are you okay?
Weird.
Like, how are you doing?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my God.
Okay. Yeah, weird. What if you are possessed and like the ghost is like, it only comes out during Halloween?
I have a comment on that, but I'll let you finish.
No, that's all I had. I want to hear your comment.
Oh. Well, they had well, I want you to say your spooky story, and then, or if you have one or not.
Oh yeah, sure. So my spooky story. I think this is the only spooky story I have.
The Jeep always breaking down at the worst possible time.
Yeah, my car is my spooky story. Just in general. No, so Preston and I, this was a few years ago. Preston and I were up at Carrie Bather's cabin. So this is, at the time we were still doing the Carried Away podcast, which was a podcast that me, Preston, and Carrie did at Gustavus. And so we went to her cabin it was like New Year's Day. Yeah, it was New Year's Day. And we wanted to do, so we had heard stories that the cabin was haunted. And the dad had corroborated, and the mom was like, yep, I've seen stuff. It happens. And Carrie, obviously, she was like, yep, definitely. So we went up there. We were like, we're going to do a ghost documentary. And so, you know, we're halfway through the documentary, documenting stuff. We're doing an interview with someone. Or actually, I don't think we were doing an interview. It was like we were shooting something else, whatever. People were talking. And
we were doing an interview with Carrie's mom. I was. And then you were getting, what do you call it, B-roll on the side.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So, yeah, it was really weird. So, yes, because her mom was talking about an event that had happened where this was right when they, like, bought the house, and she was there with her friend, and it was just those two. And the mom they were talking about, I think it was a friend's relative who committed suicide, something like that. And out of nowhere, Carrie's mom sees this premonition, ghostly figure of a man in a pinstripe suit hanging from the ceiling. And so this is her story that she's telling to us while we're doing the interview for the documentary. And so she's saying all this, whatever, and I'm getting B-roll of this beam that she's talking about. And out of the corner of my eye, I see, so basically we're in this big living room, high ceiling, and there's an upstairs that has there's like a stairway to the upstairs in this main room. It's kind of like there's a railing on the stairway. And out of the corner of my eye, I see movement on the stairwell. And the railing, you know, it's got its posts, whatever. And so I see kind of like the movement between the posts. And I was so convinced that something was there that I was like, oh, that is so-and-so who wasn't in the room currently walking down from upstairs. So I was convinced that this was another human that was walking down the stairs. And so I kind of just like saw it out of the corner of my eye, kept filming, and then I looked over there to see who was coming downstairs, and no one was there. And I was just like, instantly, it was just weird because I remember seeing like a turquoise light blue color.
A hologram.
No, literally. It was...
Yeah, you said you thought that they were wearing jeans.
Yes, like I saw I saw a specific color and I saw movement and was so convinced to the point that I like brushed it off because I assumed it was an actual person. And then when I looked over, there was no one there. And that one thing has like stuck in my mind of like, that's weird. Like I had completely convinced myself that there was something there, and then there was nothing there. So
it's like
that's my story.
What if you kept getting B-roll, and then you go look in a closet, and there's the fucking pinstripe suit?
Oh, that'd be.
Now would it be spookier if it was like clean, or if it was super dusty?
Clean.
Probably clean.
Because you always see dirty on like all these shows, and that's weird though. Because would you ever be able to get on camera? That's always the thing that. Like all these shows where it's just like
right.
They have the camera, or these horror films, they have the camera going like this, and then the camera's up like this, and you don't see it on the camera, but then it comes right at that jump scare. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if you would ever be able to
capture that on camera, or if
it's such a weird thing because that house, multiple people have said that. You know what I mean? So it was always be intriguing. You guys did back history right on the house or no?
I've been quote unquote working on this documentary for the past however many years. And the thing that I'm like the reason that I like haven't moved on, that I'm like stuck on, is just like finding history on this house, because I've looked up photos and there are some photos, but there's just like no history on the house.
Nothing.
And I feel like I need to I would probably have to call people. County record shit.
The Carrie's cabin is like almost like a camp, right? There's the main lodge, and then there's like the other bunks of the whatever places, and then basically this like camp lodge whatever thing was like used as a like Native American like almost like gentrify like whatever turn them into like whites camp basically. Like that's what it was used for back in the whatever. That's all I know about it. I don't know what the previous owners were. I don't know anything blah 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 besides that.
There was a story. I don't remember. Maybe this wasn't the one that.
Oh wait. And also, the Blake soccer coach used to take his soccer boys up there for weekends before they owned it. She told us that too. I do remember that.
There was so
heavy on the boys camp. Heavy on the boys.
This must have been something that I read then online. But there was also a maybe she did talk about this. I don't remember. But there was a thing with like I think they did talk about this. Anyway, there was something with like a Native American tribe, and some guy like came in there and like sexually assaulted like some of the women or something like that.
Yeah, you like
and then the guys like fucked him up and like killed him.
Yeah.
And like threw him in like a fucking swamp.
I remember you actually saying that. Now, I don't know why I remember that specific part when you guys were doing that. But that actually makes more sense to why that is there.
Yeah.
But why would this person... Yeah, I'm always intent of like the haunting, this is haunting, so the presence is still there. Do you think this being or whatever it is, spirit, is trapped there?
Well, also think about like the vision that Carrie's mom saw, like it was a suicide, which is also another like classic.
That's a ghost red flag.
Right.
Yeah.
If you see a ghost hanging, that's a no-go,
guys.
guys.
Wisconsin type of stuff, I'm telling you.
But yeah, it was a spooky time. And yeah, there were other stories that they personally had, like Carrie's dad. He was sleeping in his bed, and he like vividly remembers somebody like tapping on his shoulder while he was sleeping, and then waking up and being like, I need to go help. And Carrie's mom was like, what are you talking about?
I can see your mom's like,
and Ted is just like, I gotta go help. But yeah, he like vividly remembers somebody like tapping on his shoulder when he was sleeping.
God.
What the heck?
Yeah.
That kind of leads into the point that I was going to say, just as like something possessed. Have you seen... Sorry, I need to...
Me on the dance floor?
Move. Yeah,
am I right?
Have you seen something that... Like, there's these videos of churches who are a little... They're a little different, these churches.
Most are.
And but they have these, like, it's not... I'm missing the word right now. Someone can help me out if someone's in the chat. But it's where everyone gets around them and they think there's a demon with them.
Yeah.
And so then they...
An exorcist? Yes. Exorcising them?
Yeah.
Exorcism.
So you see that a lot in the horror movies, but you also see it kind of in person sometimes too with these... I wouldn't say Baptist, but a little further right Baptist church, in the South, where they come up and then all of a sudden they start screaming or shaking or whatnot. It's very eerie. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's really weird. I think it's kind of like a sickening feeling that I get like watching it. I don't know if that's even, it's really weird how that there's a spirit that possesses just those specific area of people. And then they have to pull out that. I don't know if to believe it. I don't know if to not believe it, disregard it. Is it like some like trance psychological effect where you're like, oh, I am, thinking about it so much, and then you believe you are, and then you act weirdly enough. I feel like that is the weirdest thing. If something involving like a specific cult, or those are the worst horror movies, and like to get me to scared the most is something just seeing Midsommar. Midsommar is just even the creepiest just because of how that is. And
because it's so realistic, like it could happen, like it's not beyond the bounds of reality.
And so that's where it's like, I feel like this possessed person saying they're possessed, other people viewing that they're possessed. I can't see what's reality or not in that scenario, which I don't know. Do you guys believe that they're like possessed, or do you think that this is kind of like a mental illness or something?
I mean, obviously in like movies and that kind of stuff, it's like, yes, this person is possessed, but like I feel like anything real life back in whenever it was with like witch hunts and all that kind of stuff, you're not possessed. You're just being a little shit.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off.
Someone clip that, because that actually is probably true. Like,
you're not possessed. You're just being a little shit.
But even going back to those accounts, I feel like during that time there was so little to be known that history was told and, you know, written down in that way. Maybe it was exaggerated than it actually was. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I will say, I think my opinion on it, like, I don't know. I think the human brain is like such a fucking like crazy powerful thing on your physical self that we just like don't understand yet. And I think that like, yeah, like there definitely could be mental illness like kind of roped in with it, but like the whole dynamic of like being within the church and then being convinced that you're possessed and then like living your life and being like, I'm fucking possessed. I don't know how to control this. And then finally, like, there is someone who you believe has the power to cure you. And then that you go through all this stuff that, like, because you have this faith in your religion, you like believe that it has the power to cure you. And so it happens. And like, especially if it's the stuff like you're talking about where he's like riling him up and being like, it's within
Satan.
big what is it? Blood.
Yeah.
There will be blood.
Yeah.
With
there will
what's
be
his face?
Holy Mary. Oh Jesus. You know, that's how they always say. This is like
stuff like that where it's like he's like just hyping him up and there's just so much emotion involved that I feel like that can trigger something in your brain to just like go nuts. And then once it all, like that high and that adrenaline rush of being like having all these emotions pent up and like even like, you know, you're scared. There's something, you feel like there's something inside you. Finally, like this is out. All these emotions come to a freaking collapse and you're just sitting there like, holy crap. Plus your brain is convinced that like, yes, I'm finally free of this thing. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like there has to be some sort of correlation with like emotion and like chemicals in your brain and believing in the like religious things like this specifically, that it has the power to like cure you, where I feel like it can all it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like you said about the brain, it's kind of crazy to think that how far we're advanced and stuff like that we don't know jack, really. The same sense. Yeah. The same thinking or being convinced, like how cults work, you know, like how they manipulate you and they prey on your insecurities and then they put you to what they want you to believe. It's almost similar. That same cognitive function is similar to like me eating something thinking that it's like no nuts in it, but if someone told me there's nuts in it,
right?
Say I was eating a piece of whatever, like a bakery piece, and there's absolutely no nuts in it. Preston's like, oh my God, there's peanut butter in it. My brain will immediately put it in there.
Yep.
And then my body, I'll mentally think I'm having a reaction, and I'll feel it in my body.
Yes.
Some would call that the placebo effect.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. But I feel like that's even a heightened like a heightened version of that even too, where it's just is like something so pivotal where like if you're so much into religion and then someone goes, there's a demon on you, I don't know what it is, you're like, oh my God, your whole life is in disarray.
Right.
And so then they just think, I'm just driving to, Cub Foods and I just suddenly just go, going, yeah, like just doing some weird something weird like that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Though?
And then you're back on the road. And you're actually in the ditch.
Yeah. And then I'm flying. Literally. But see, that's like the weirdest thing is because they have like, there's so much, the best way I can describe what a lot of this stuff that we're talking about is that it's a YouTube channel called Meat Crayon. There's a Meat Crayon. And it's one of those two. And it's an animated, it's like a cartoon based, but they take something super far into like a psychological effect. I think visually it just shows how effed everything
down, kind of.
Well, you saw them.
Did you just see the Starbucks
pumpkin
spice one?
Yeah, that's why I just brought it up.
Yeah.
It's remember when we watched a SpongeBob one where it's just like the secret ingredient was just SpongeBob and they just kept taking stuff out of.
Remember, Nate? Like they're like really grotesque cartoons and like they're really detailed and really weird and Yeah.
Very psychological, or like if you're on acid trip type of deal. But I
like
feel
cartoon characters on an acid trip. Yeah.
But there was just a recent one that Preston was talking about the. It looked, just like a classic Instagram, Facebook mom, has her weird big hat, fedora type looking, and she's like, pumpkin spice latte, just going nuts. And she just is sitting there like just fiending over it. Her body's deforming because she just starts chugging it. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clip that.
Yeah. But that's what she's doing though. That's what she's actually doing is that same motion, and she's just sucking it down. It's just a weird.
Yeah.
That's how I envision like the brain is. But
yeah, I think going back to kind of like your peanut allergy with like the whole exorcism thing, like it's the same. As much as your brain has been conditioned to fear peanuts because it can kill you, kids from a young age being maybe I don't
like Christianity, you mean?
no, that's not what I'm talking about at all.
Thanks for putting it out there, Ted, because we were all wondering.
Not what I'm talking about. But yeah, the brain is a freaking powerful thing.
I feel like a lot of all those situations, I'm always like, why would I ever post this on social media? You know what I mean? Because like I feel, I don't know. It's like, who's sitting there during an exorcism? Zooming in.
What's her face on the TikToks who went nuts? Not Jenna Marbles.
Who?
She was having like a freaking episode of something.
Oh, Gabby Hanna.
Yeah. She should have had a Catholic priest.
Oh my God.
Bless her. Holy smokes.
Yeah, that series was gnarly. That was nuts.
I just don't get it. It's just like, how is someone recording this? Because it seems, that to me, someone sitting there and recording this, that seems to me to break reality. That's not pushing. That's not reality for me. This is just kind of a weird cult type of stint.
Yeah.
Or a stunt, rather. Stint. Yeah, stunt, and that it's just is kind of like a publicity, but also to kind of showcase or whatever.
Right, they want attention, probably.
Right, and that. But if that didn't happen, I heard about it.
Right.
Ooh, you know, like that's freaky.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you were going to say anything. I was just going to say that moving on to something I want to talk about, the most scariest thing that not that you can possibly think of, but like a scenario or
okay. Interesting. Most
it's
scenario.
like a phobia type of deal.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I'll give an example. So Jake, I lived with him. I worked totally. I know him for a long time. Jake is afraid of. So there's a reservoir in Jamestown. That's like a big lake. It's like a Minnesota town, but it's in North Dakota, Jamestown, North Dakota. And there's a spillway that goes through the dam, and comes out the other way. And they, manage how much water is let out and whatever. So there's got to be something on the bottom, right? That takes all that water, and in your mind you're thinking the twirly thing, like the spin. And Jake is afraid of just, being on the top and then getting sucked down. He'll swim and do whatever, but that's a constant reoccurring nightmare.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like him going all the way down. And it's weird because you always kind of want to read into it, but it's like that fear of drowning, that might be, a lot of people like, oh, that'll be an okay death, because it's like peaceful. No. Drowning, I think, might be one of the top worst.
Probably the most painful.
Because there's nothing you can do, but if you're caught in a fire, I'm still looking around, I'm running through, you know what I mean? I'm not...
Oh, true, yeah.
My brain is thinking about how to go out.
Right.
Get out where I'm below and I'm...
completely immobilized.
Yeah.
Can't fucking get out. Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Okay. I guess there would be an argument there that, like, you just kind of accept it if you're drowning. Whereas if you are
that's a good point.
Stuck in a fire, it's like, holy shit, how do I get out of here?
Frantic,
You're just still frantic, trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
it's tough.
I don't know if that would give me peace. I don't know if I could like accept that I was drowning. Like within those moments, I don't think I could come to terms with my reality and be like, well, here it is.
All right, so homework
I'm drowning to
the
death.
next podcast, we each have to drown and
Right.
die in a fire.
Right.
Okay.
And then
Then
come back, we'll give you the answers.
Deliberate on
You
which
won't
one
see
is-
us
We're
on
going to do
camera,
the
though,
hard
'cause we're
work for you
ghosts.
guys.
Yeah,
you won't
we'll-
have to do it yourselves.
Yeah, true. We'll actually visit you in your home.
Yeah, we'll drown ourselves in your
Yeah.
home and then burn your house down
No,
with
I was
us in
saying,
it.
We have a
I was saying a
post-
ghost. We just come back as ghosts. I'm
Yeah,
down
we
to
have the
burn something
post-death
down.
podcast. We just set the mics here. Just
Oh,
let the camera roll for now.
Dude.
That would kind of be a funny bit though. Just like, yeah, guys, welcome to the LooneyBin Podcast, but it's just like freaking empty.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, guys, let us know how you're enjoying the show. We got the 3 ghosts on right now.
Oh my gosh, that'd be
Guys, we
great.
could have the mics like strung to like
Right.
with like fishing wire just kind of floating.
Yeah, just hanging there.
That'd be funny.
Anyway.
They had a. Hey, that'd actually be a good bit. So my fear of like something that I don't know why, but my biggest fear is always driving, and I drive a lot,
Yeah, you do.
but it's always driving.
Long distances, late
Yeah.
at night.
All the time. When I'm driving, I'm fine. But the day of, before I have to go, go somewhere, not like in town, but more like on the highway or something. And
That was a stick, ladies and gentlemen. That was
Yeah.
a genuine stick that he pulled out of himself.
5 years old probably at this point. But it's a fact, like if I'm laying in bed or I'm thinking about driving the next day, and all the time, like maybe longer than a half an hour drive, nothing in the cities, my brain is like, oh, what if I just went just tiny movement across, boom, done. You know what I mean?
true.
At high speed. Or
Yeah.
someone that comes across the median and boom, you're done.
Nothing you can do.
Yeah, nothing you can go across, or
The ditch is probably just as dangerous.
I know. And I've driven in like horrible conditions where like I shouldn't be driving at all. And in the moment I'm like, I'm chill, I'm confident. That biker, people walking on the
Right,
crosswalk.
just-
It's like,
What if I just-
who tells me I have to stop? Like no one's telling me I have to stop. How many points is that? Someone tell me.
Guys, morality. Am I right?
True, but it's either that, between the fear of that, or there's like a dream where something's happening where I have to defend. Like I don't know what it is. This is probably a whole big psychological. Let's read into it. But there's something I have to defend, and so I'm going head to head. And every time I come into like punch it or do something that can stop it from happening, whatever it's going to be, it stops right in front of their face. It's like a force field, and I can't get it.
I have a very similar reoccurring dream as
Yeah.
well.
And I can never do anything like that. Like I can't get close. I can shove them around, but every time I go in, it stops, and I'm just sitting there like holding it back. It's
Yep.
like some force.
Mine is like, it's not like a force field like stop. It's like my whole body is in water. And so like as hard as I
Slow
feel like
motion type,
yeah, so like I feel like I could like either run really quickly or like I could move my body really fast, but as hard as I fucking like try and move myself, it's just like
Yeah.
I can't get it to go fast, and I'm like stuck basically.
I don't know why that is, because I've punched people before, so why wouldn't I dream that I punched actually? You know what I mean? See, that doesn't make sense to me. So why it's always like, no, you always lose, John. You can never defend. Or
No, I mean that's like the fears, like not like your body isn't like like you can't do anything.
Yeah.
No,
literally.
there's
It's
nothing that you can do to help it.
and those, that dream seems like it's 6 hours long, but really it's
Yeah.
only that 2 minute to 5 minute time where you're just cocked, like you're not
Yes.
moving. You're just like this, and suddenly you feel like you're falling through the Grand Canyon, going like, oh my.
Yeah.
And then you wake up.
And it's always the like 30-minute naps.
yes,
that
'cause you
you're
don't-
like-
oh my gosh,
You
yes.
wake up and you're like,
I'm sweating. I'm like, literally, I'm like, where's my zen? Like, I need something to get the edge off of those dreams.
true.
But do you have any like fear that just is always kind of like a, fire or suffocation or claustrophobic?
I've never thought about it that much, but I don't think I have anything that's like, oh, I'm super afraid of spiders. Nothing like that. It's just like
It's because you're a Boy Scout. That's why.
True. You're bred in the darkness and the wilderness around animals.
Well,
They're like, what else is there to be afraid
I'm
of?
gonna say this, and it's gonna sound really dumb because like we're just talking about this. You're a Boy Scout.
You're an Eagle Scout, though. You know.
But like, I don't know. Like my biggest fear is somebody is like in a life or death situation, and I can't do anything to help.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck, Teddy. Fuck me up. Guys,
God.
can we put some warm words in the chat for Teddy? He needs...
and Teddy saves lives every summer.
Yeah, Teddy is a lifeguard.
Yeah. Teddy saves lives all the time.
But maybe that's why, because you're in a position where you need to be able to help people, like consistently.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's just weird, but
That makes sense though, because the power that you have, like I feel like lifeguard, is always just kind of thrown. Like the responsibilities of a lifeguard is just like, oh, fun summer job, get to hang with your friends, hours are chill. But that job is,
it's fucking stressful.
It's pretty serious, and it's pretty crazy. And that makes sense though, like just always sitting there in the open water too.
Yeah, that's
just sitting up on that, looking out, and this is like, well, you're too far away. Oh, okay,
right.
No,
that's even scarier because
I mean, like, not necessarily that kind of stuff. It's more like we're out in the woods.
Oh.
We can't really contact anybody, that kind of stuff, and like somebody is just sitting there bleeding out, and it's like, what do I do?
Nothing you can do. Damn. Yeah, another thing I was gonna say. I'll do my fear first, and then I'll. So
is it the one
my
I'm thinking of?
Yeah, it's the one you're thinking of. So, guys, one of my biggest fears, and I think it is technically. There's an aspect of it. This is also a reoccurring dream that I have. There's an aspect of this that's pretty common, I think, that I've seen. But the broad one is kind of a fear of deep water, and I can swim really well.
The unknown.
But it's the unknown beneath me that scares me. The darkness. I don't know what kind of freaking massive creature is 10 feet below me. And it could just be this massive freaking thing. Which leads me to the more specific fear that I have, which is the fear of whales. Now, stick with me here. Anybody remember the old indie film called Finding Nemo?
indie film.
That small production. So there was a scene where, they're just like chilling in the ocean. It's Dory and Marlin. That's his name, right? Marlin? Marvin Gaye.
Can't confirm Marlin.
Marlin. Which is funny because he's not a Marlin. But he has the heart of one. Anyway, then they're just chilling in the water, and out of the background just comes fills the entire frame, just this massive freaking mouth, and just goes, freaking sucks them in, whatever. And so that's why I have a fear of whales. It's like gigantism sort of stuff, where it's just like so massive, like compared to you that whatever. But yeah, the reoccurring dream that I always have that kind of surrounds it, that like activates that fear, is I'm always in, it's kind of like a pool, but it's like super deep, and it's like as deep as like, and just like an abyss. But I'm always like really, really close. I'm pretty close to the edge, like out of arm's reach, but close to the edge. And a freaking killer whale is like coming up beneath me, and I'm swimming as hard as I can to get to the edge of the pool before it reaches me, but I can never, like, I'm never making any ground in the pool.
That make, the similar thing is I experienced that too, because when I was younger, and still even to this day, you're at that lake or whatever, and you're in the middle, or something open water that's not a swimming pool, like a public pool.
Yeah.
You always got goggles on you, right? I'll never put them on, because I don't want to see what's down there. I don't know what's going to happen. Like the worst part is, even if it's not clear, that might be even scarier.
That's even worse.
Because you're just kind of like,
that's the worst part.
It's
like
a
when
jump
you can't
scare,
see it.
or it's just like something like the fish could be right there, and like, okay, I'm going to get out right away.
The Sunny just nibbled at my toe.
But that is the the ocean might be the weirdest thing, because just for the fact that what was the statistic? Might be something Preston should look up. But how much have we discovered of the ocean? How much is actually undiscovered?
Mm-hmm.
And just everything revolving around that, what's on the bottom, different life forms that we still haven't even, discovered, different organisms.
I could be mistaken, but isn't it supposed to be like, we don't know what's in 90% of that ocean or something like that? Like, we know more about space than we do about the ocean.
Yes.
That
was another
That's
thing.
insane.
Like, what?
That boggles.
You guys want
my
to
mind.
guess how much of the ocean we have mapped?
Yep. 25%.
Less.
I'm gonna guess
10%.
Yeah, it's around 10%.
Wow.
Just math.
Guess how much of the U.S. coastal waters we have mapped?
3.
No, it's more.
I don't know, 20.
U.S. coastal waters.
Yeah, which is about 100 miles off the border of the United States. That's what coastal waters are. I
Like
think.
surrounding the United States,
I'll say
east and west.
Yep.
75.
Less.
6.
No, it's 35%.
But
That's
see,
still-
We have 35% of the coastal waters mapped, but only 10% of global waters mapped, basically.
What the frick?
Yeah,
That
it's
is-
kind of crazy.
so that leads into something that I just saw recently. So there's these on these oil rigs.
Mm-hmm.
There's deep sea divers that have to go down, and maintenance and do
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So going down that deep, you can't come up right away.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you have to repressurize. What's that called?
Yeah.
Acclimate.
Acclimate.
Yeah.
Practically is
Or else you get the bends, kids.
Yeah, or even really, it's like your blood will boil.
Yeah.
So they have this chamber below this rig. It was in the 90s or 80s, 90s, early 2000s, something like that, around that area. And they had this chamber below, like underneath, to where when they come up, they get into this diving dock, where this chamber was already pressurized to how pressured it was down. That PS, the pressure was in there, so they wouldn't have to acclimate so much.
Okay.
Which I don't know if there's any damaging effects to that alone. But then they had one time they're coming up, docking. The other divers are resting in this, portion on the bottom of it. 2 divers come up from their shift, going in. And for some reason, like a tenant who is also working down there, working up, like left just a sliver of the door open. So you have 2 chambers. So you have the chamber where they dock in. You open the door, then you get into a room, then there's another chamber. So you got to latch both of those so you can depressurize going in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it didn't latch, and another person opened up the door on the other one. 2 of them died instantly. You know what I mean? Just boom. Like
Right.
it just is.
Depressurized, just freaking.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other guy it's like an explosion, but there's not, you know what I mean? There's not like a fireball effect. It's just like boom. Like everything goes crazy, right?
Yeah.
So 2 other guys died by direct impact of like materials that were happening. The other guy was sucked through that pressure going down, through into the ocean or whatnot. Just boom, everything gone. Like it just eat out everything. Like pressure, low key is kind of, I didn't understand the power
Scary.
of pressure.
There's a clip of I saw this on TikTok and it was freaking crazy. I don't know how this was on TikTok. It wasn't technically explicit, but you can imagine the repercussions of this shit. There was, I forget what it was. It was some sort of like pipe, and it had it was like hyper pressurized or something like that, and this dude was like doing maintenance on it, and there was like an opening in it, and he got sucked into it.
Yeah.
And like his whole body just like through this like small like hole and just went like and just like took all of
gone.
him. And it's like,
Yeah.
what? Like
It's a
what?
weird.
Like your whole body just gets sucked into a pipe that's like this big, and you're like,
Well, I don't get how when we go down, like we probably as humans to be in person down on the bottom, the deepest part of the seafloor, to be at that pressure. Is there so much?
we can't.
No, there's no way.
Yeah.
Because even if we have a machine or some sort of vehicle or something that can go down there can withstand it, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything that we could possibly ever make that would be able to allow us to go down there. Because if you imagine you go to the bottom of a 12-foot pool, your diving pool at your public, Benson outdoor pool.
Mm-hmm.
Your ears are hurting. You wouldn't sit down there for the whole time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Things are popping. Potentially, if you're down there, oftentimes just without even a suit on, your eardrums explode or they burst. Imagine just so much pressure.
Right.
That it's just your body,
like tons and tons
crushing.
of pressure.
Absolutely crushing. I don't know. That is a very scary thing, I think, too. Because it's just like space, though, too, right? Like space has. Like we've seen Gravity, or we've seen Interstellar, or when something busts open, there's a boom.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
The
like,
change in pressure.
There's a moment, you know, like that clip, like where it's just like gone,
right?
And it's just like there's nothing you can do about that. That would be scary. I don't know. I would love to talk to an astronaut or something like a deep sea diver and just talk about. What's going through your mind? You just accept every day that you might just be gone?
The funny thing is, though, is that guess how many people have died in space?
There's 3.
I might have been the one to tell you this. It's 0.
It's not.
No, it was Russians. There was Russians who died.
It's 3.
Yeah.
They died on re-entry, but they were technically still in space. But their pod. They were still in space. They were in space, Teddy.
Their bodies.
It was out of our Earth's atmosphere,
Mm-hmm.
and their cabin depressurized in their little pod, and basically when the pod landed, they cracked it open and they were all dead in there. But that's the only. There's 3 Russians. The only people that die, only humans to die off Earth.
And it was something like
not on Earth.
I think during that time they had their own space station up there, wasn't it, or something like that? That they're going up there for a reason.
I think there was only the International Space Station.
International, sorry, thank you. Yeah, when they were going up there, and for some reason or something like they couldn't. It was the weirdest thing because even the fact that they're coming in, how did humans make a material that's strong enough to withstand the heat re-entering the Earth's, imagine that pressure though too, that point. I have no clue.
Yep. I don't know. Would you guys ever go to space if you had the chance? If money was no object and you could leave tomorrow, would you do it? You would go?
I would.
Why would you go?
It's cool.
It's space.
Yeah,
it's something that is completely foreign.
It intrigues me.
Yeah.
I'm in between for the one reason only that there's no. The abyss scares me.
Mm-hmm.
I think just being out there and just seeing the fact it blows my brain because it's very similar to the game called No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky. I would never play this game because it's also a fear for me for some reason. Is that it's just infinite. It just is that we're this, and
I think a lot of people have that fear, or that there's just it's not comprehensible.
Yeah, because I think
how large
it's essentially that I don't understand it until that's why I'm afraid of it. Because I feel like I understand a lot. You know what I mean? I feel like I comprehend things, and that's how I essentially become a whole viewpoint is based on me understanding everything. Like even being in the middle of an ocean, you can't see anything. I would be so much more comfortable in that scenario than in sitting there on the moon where I can see the Earth or whatever.
Right.
Or yeah. Well, it's also the same way where it says I don't know if Preston experienced this, and you guys were in Europe too, but when we were in Malaysia, I was sitting there and I look at snap maps and I'd be like, what? I'm all the way over here.
Oh, right.
And that the fact is this is the distance between whatever it was home, not even homesickness. This is the fact of where am I?
Yep.
That is just
it's something completely foreign to you.
Yes, I don't. It's or getting a plane. You're just oh yeah, I'm just chilling, whatever. But I'm in the air right now,
Right.
and I'm
Yeah.
traveling for 30 hours.
Right.
But would you go to space, Nate?
I don't think I would.
Why not?
Because I think I'd be too stressed to enjoy any of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'd just always be thinking, what's gonna fail next?
Yeah.
What's gonna fail? What's gonna kill
Yeah.
me? And I would not be able to enjoy it.
I feel like the reason of going there would be my reason alone to be in space would be understanding the beauty of the Earth on the outside.
Yeah.
And understanding just as the darkness and just looking up here, just the pure beauty of it. And if I had extensive training of what to do in outer space, how to interact with gravity being different and everything else, I think I maybe would consider it a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I'd want to be prepared. I wouldn't just go up there as a civilian and be like, oh nice, looking out the window. I'd want to walk on the moon and stuff like that. I don't know. It's definitely really, but even then, like this since we're on the topic, scary, spooky. Black holes and everything else like that start just being, deformed and then exploding and then boom, something sucked in. I think this might be my always Google search all the time, reading like different articles about everything and just trying to understand. And I still, even scientists don't understand just what a black hole is. Sucks things in and boom. I'm like, where does it go? Like, but that's always the question.
Are you in the chat?
Where does it go? I know. Well, because that's what Lenars. We had a whole conversation all the way down to South Dakota, that trip.
Mm-hmm.
Lenars, Henry, and it's just just a squad of big brain type of shit. And it was quantum physics. Talking about all that stuff. Tyler, if Tyler was there, he would, eat it up. Tyler, we just watch calc videos for fun. And so, like, we were just sitting there talking about it, just as understanding, just as what the hell is happening, and just as, I don't know. Well, fuck it.
Yeah. No, literally. Yeah, I think I do want to have I definitely want to have a podcast with Narzi on it, but I was also thinking about, because, like, he has information in his brain and, like, knowledge of stuff that, like, none of us know. Like quantum physics, for example. And like, if there's a way that we could do that and have that be content, whatever. But yeah.
I have something to add here.
I
said I have something to add about
Please
singularities and black holes and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you guys see who won the Nobel Prize this year? You guys know about that?
Oh.
I did. I don't remember though. I saw it in a Hank Green video.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that same Hank Green video. Basically, it was proven, and we've known this for a while.
Oh, yeah. I saw
But we finally have, like, I don't know, had enough tests that it's like, okay, this is actually a real thing.
Oh, okay.
Where basically, electrons have spin, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like a thing. Like, that's how they're balanced. And, spins, they don't actually spin, but that's like what we say, right? They have spin.
Yeah.
And that basically means whether they're positive or negative, right? Depending on which way they spin. And basically, they were, like, measuring these, like, electrons in some sort of particle examiner or whatever. And they were measuring these electrons, and, like, you can't actually tell when the electron is spinning within the particle until you actually measure it. And they kept doing it, and they're like, oh, my God, like, we can't, like, tell without, like, running a test on it, like, where this electron is. Like, we can observe the electron, and the electron, like, somehow it, like, doesn't know where it is. And this basically means that on a super small quantum scale, like, even electrons and stuff like that don't know where they are in the universe until
they attach to something?
Until, like, yeah, something happens to them where they are then interacting with another thing or something like that. And so it's, like, theorized that by using this, if we bump it up to a bigger scale, that we could basically create a wormhole and, like, travel through space. Because, like, obviously I'm butchering it a lot, but, like, basically, like, these electrons don't know where they are and they can be anywhere. It's not measurable, like the distance. Like, I think they even pushed them across like galaxies. They had like something pointed, like something, I don't know, but like it's like theorized that like we could use this whatever technology to like make a wormhole on a bigger scale, which is kind of interesting.
So you're saying like the not the abyss, but this mass amount of electrons, whatever, they don't have, like a home or whatever. And so, like, once you create that wormhole, enough of them there, because it's just as nothing, right? You go through that, essentially they attach to something, and then boom, you're there.
I think that's a pretty dumbed down way of explaining it.
Right.
But I think it's something like that.
Didn't it also have something to do with faster than light travel, essentially?
Yes, I think so, something like that.
Which is
I forget. But anyway, if you guys haven't seen it, watch the Hank
Also,
Green video
Elon
on
Musk
that.
is working on a light speed engine.
Who is?
Elon Musk.
Of course he is.
I'll show you guys that video and we'll talk about it in after hours. But
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The weirdest thing about, Elon Musk is a character, and I'm not even going to comment on it, whatnot. But he's an MF for sure, and just being a quirky guy, but also just is like, I'm going to tackle this. And half the time he's successful in a lot of this area stuff. And honestly, besides of all the other, bullshit that he does, it is really like, if any person had to do it with the amount of money, resources, everything that he possibly could ever need to be the amount of smart he is, the amount of intelligence that he has, I put my hands in that. He's
Right.
kind of,
Yeah.
not dimming down his, intellectual and anything else. It's just that is crazy to think about, because the tests that were happening, probably that what Preston and Nate are talking about, are something that's been studied for a long time, right? Or maybe not, maybe just recently. But who came up with the technology to understand what was happening there? What?
I don't even want to freaking get it. Like, there's so much shit that I couldn't even I wouldn't be able to even wrap my head around.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know. It is crazy to think about though. Measuring this sort of stuff.
Right.
How the fuck?
I saw a video, just on Instagram or somewhere, where it was Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about if you took the Earth and shrunk it down to the size of a cue ball, it'd be smoother than any cue ball that's ever been produced.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yes.
Because
it's too perfect.
I mean, you're just thinking about Mount Everest.
Yeah.
And then the Mariana Trench and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And how is that
Compared
smooth?
to a little
What the fuck?
yes.
chip that
crazy.
came off of it is way deeper in scale. Yeah.
And well, even moving towards that point, looking at our solar system's here, right? What is that? Milky Way solar system.
Galaxy.
Yeah, galaxy. Thank you. And then what's our solar system? It's just the solar.
Our solar system is within the galaxy.
Within the galaxy. So then we go in, and you zoom into one of the planets, say Uranus or something else. A scary another thing, or even Mars. The scary another thing is how time is perceived on these certain planets. So Interstellar kind of showcased that. And that's why I love that movie so much. We've only been here for how long? It's been 6 years. Time passed on whatever place is different than time passed on Earth. And that time is just essentially just a human creative thing that we don't. Obviously, I'm going down a fucking rabbit hole right now, and I probably shouldn't. But that's also another scary thing to me, though, that is time right now is focused. Our lives are fully involved with something based on a schedule or time, a routine. Everything that we do, work, sleeping wise, everything is based on, a time that but humans gave that it's, value. So just to the fact that I'm on another planet and I'm still living, what's a minute over there? I don't understand it though. A minute over there is different than it could be an hour or even longer on Earth. Why? Someone explain to me why.
Guys,
Because it just is, and that's the scary part. It's just wait, what? And I didn't age as much as the age over there. That's why that movie is just so nuts, because he just is like came back and like, I didn't age whatsoever. Anything else aged?
Right.
You know.
Or the fact that like, go look outside right now, find a star, and just know that what you're observing, the star that you're seeing right now, is however many thousands, millions of years older than like the time that you're actually perceiving it, because the light takes so long to reach your eyeballs that it's taking that long to get to you, that it's already that much older.
Isn't there something you said about that where it's like, if you just look at any star up in the sky, it's likely already like
dead.
Yeah. Or
right, because
the
star that you're perceiving is however many years younger.
Yeah.
The light that's coming from it. Yeah.
But the like time dilation stuff does remind me of another film that came out this last year, actually. It was Lightyear.
Oh,
good one.
They talked about tons of time dilation stuff.
Yeah.
Super science based. The faster you fly, the farther in time you go. So just want to put that out there.
Dude, spoilers. I haven't seen it yet.
For all the scientists out here.
Sorry.
What were you gonna say?
Well, I was like, and based on that, I was just always confused why Star Wars never encompassed that.
Of what?
Just like time, yeah, because their time travels, or not time travel, but them traveling through space never was a little bit different. Like it just seemed like us driving to a different city.
Because it was faster than light speed.
But would they have like had the concept of time dilation and stuff back in the 70s?
That's also a good point.
I guess they made it consistent.
And also, like, not having time dilation just makes
everything a lot easier.
Yes, just a lot easier.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Like physics, let's just throw it out the window because we don't want to have to fucking worry about it. Yeah.
Gosh, that is.
I do want to have. Maybe we'll have an expert on all this stuff that we're talking about that we have no idea about.
Aaron Johnson.
Very soon. So make sure to watch out for that. But in the meantime, we got to wrap up this episode. So if you haven't already, hey guys, it's a new month. It's October. It's actually very close to being the end of October. But every new month, if you're a Prime subscriber, if you have Amazon Prime, if you're watching those Amazon series on video, that means that you have a free Twitch Prime sub, and you can give us money
for free.
And you get all the sub stuff too on top of that. So it
premium
benefits
stickers.
both of us, both parties. So use those new monthly, and that gets renewed every single month. So use those up if you're not putting it to somebody else. Follow our Instagram. We have a TikTok. We have a YouTube, obviously. Yeah. Thanks for sitting on the couch with me this week, boys. And see you in after hours.